Hello Duelists, it's Tombox here, welcome to MST.TV, and in this video we're going to have a card discussion about two cards I believe you guys should get to know. Now the first monster, well, is going to be Ventriloquist, Clara, and Lucica, and the second one is Underclock Taker. Hopefully their names don't change too much, but it's Konami, who knows what they'll go with. But anyways, why these two monsters? They seem like just random picks. Well, are they actually random picks? No, they're not. It's just because both of these monsters kind of expand the Link mechanic. Well, one of them does, and the other one is just a monster we haven't got in the general public for Link 2. So let's talk about our first card of interest. We have Ventriloquist, Clara, and Lucica. So I don't know which one's the puppet, which one's the master, who knows, who cares. But let's talk about the features of this card. It features two little girls on a card. If you're into that kind of stuff, I ain't judging, just saying what it looks like. It's got one girl dressed in, well, in kind of a gothy color, black, and then we have, well, one dressed in pink. It reminds me of like Trade Toad, Subset Toad, Light and Darkness Dragon. We got the light and the dark kind of split right in between. So that's just what it looks like. In terms of the other features of the card, it is an Earth attribute monster with a Link arrow pointing up. It is a Link 1 spellcaster, and overall has no attack. Sounds kind of crappy overall, so I'm like, why would I even bother running this? But let's talk about the effects of this card and the recipe. The recipe states right here, one normal summoned or set monster. And effect is, cannot be Link summoned, except during main phase 2. Okay. Wow, this still doesn't seem very good. Okay, let's talk about the rulings about this card. Namely, because of the recipe, some people are going to get confused and they're going to try and Link summon with a face down monster. I'm like, hey Tombox, oh my god, this guy says normal summon / set, so set monsters mean face down. No, it does not, okay? It means how it was placed on the field. And you know what, I'm just gonna give you guys a quick rule of thumb when it says normal summon / set, and I'll give you guys another example. When it says normal summon / set, it just means how it was placed onto the field. It's like a history of the card. It is the past action of how this card was put onto the field. So if you set, say, a monster face down, your opponent attacks into it, couldn't kill it, the monster technically was not normal summoned, it was normal set, and it will retain that. It's just normal set, but it's still face up at this moment. And therefore you can Link summon into this card. It's just by the mechanics of Link summoning, you can't use face down monsters for the Link summon. Another funny card is, that's actually a really good example, Bashing Shield. Wow, what is this card? It's actually from Battle Pack. It is an equip spell that only equips to a normal summon / set monster. But by the mechanics of equipping spells, you can't equip to a face down monster. So in other words, it's just caring about how it is placed on the field, and just use that as the rule of thumb. And I don't want to go into the crazy details because that's just the recipe. But this recipe also has some other implications. The implication is that it's now actually putting summoning conditions into your Link recipes. So in other words, you can get pendulum summoned monsters, you can get exceed summoned monsters, you can get synchro summoned monsters. In other words, it can care about how the monster was placed on the field to get your Link summon. And that actually opens up to like different archetypes, you know, getting their own Link monster with a very specific summoning condition just because you can only access it via that archetype or that method. It's just different ways to give different summoning methods support, and it kind of expands the game design for Links that way. It's just opening a whole gate in that direction. Now the second thing you guys kind of want me to talk about would be the applications of this card. I think there's actually quite a bit of applications for this card, even though it has like no stats. Like, what's the point? If things have no stats, like nothing, then you're gonna have to go down to the game mechanics to actually abuse the card. And this card does have a few things that's abusable. First of all, it's a spellcaster. We have the spellbook engine available to us. And let me just give you guys one quick little thing that you can do with it. Now that we have Sangan, which is the Black Forest, normal summon Sangan. Normal summon / set monster. Condition met. Send Sangan into the graveyard. To Link summon this card. Sangan effect activates. Add a max C. Now I'm going to activate Spellbook of Knowledge. Draw 2 cards. Wow, that seemed very easy. I just gained a lot of cards over my opponent, so that was actually a pretty decent thing to do. Second thing to note, it is a Link monster, and there is already one Link monster that requires more Link monster, which is Ningirsu of the World Chalice archetype. That card is pretty decent if you ask me. But, okay, so if you have a Proxy Dragon in this card, you can immediately go into more fun things, which would be Ningirsu, and give your opponent a nice little bounce. But definitely World Chalice is going to benefit off of this card just because it is just such easy access, and perhaps they can actually send their tribute summon monster to the graveyard using this card. Okay, so Okay, and normal summon does also include tribute summons. They're kind of part of the same family, I believe. And the last application is control. What if you take control of your opponent's monster? You can just link it out into this card. That basically means you get to keep control of it. Even though nowadays you can just link summon into basically anything, but if you have nothing to really commit to, this card is a pretty decent one. Just bear in mind that it does point upwards, so it does open up 2 possible link summons or extra deck summons for your opponent. Alright, the second card I want to talk about is something that's quite interesting to me. It is the Underclock Taker. It's a dark attribute, Cyberus monster that has arrows pointing left and down. More importantly, the down part, okay guys? And the recipe is 2 effect monsters. Effectively, it is, to me, the most generic monster pointing downwards. More so than Akashek. Although you guys can argue for Code Talker, but Code Talker doesn't have any TCG announcements as of yet when I made this video. If it is released in Extreme Forces, my point still stands, as this would be one of the first ones available to us anyway. But what makes it so special about it pointing down? Well, the applications of this card I think is quite amazing. Firstly, it's generic enough, okay guys? 2 effect monsters. Akashek requires 2 monsters of the same type. Sometimes if you're going through a combo, that is not going to help you because the recipe is a little hard to make, especially if you're playing an archetype that just has a bunch of different types. Looking at you guys at World Chalice. Now, what makes it really good? Now, it is a really awesome mid-piece combo, like in the middle of the combo, because it will reduce the attack of one of your opponent's monsters, because the effect states once per turn it targets 1 face-up monster it points to and 1 monster face-up monster your opponent controls, and reduce their monster's attack till the end of the turn by the one it points to. So if you're doing like an ABC combo, going into Decode Talker or not, like you go into a Proxy Dragon first, but instead this time you can actually go into Underclock Taker and then reduce the attack of your opponent's monster and then swing even harder at them. So in other words, it's really good for taking out like big monsters in general. Like if you have an A on the field and then you have it pointing to it and then bow, that's just basically almost 2,000 worth of attack reduced, almost 1,900. And then you can go into your Decode Talker and then put your ABC on board, and that's a massive swing. So life points matter, but more importantly, what I kind of want to bring you up to speed is, if you guys have seen my Infernity FTK and TCG without the Daigusto Emerald, without the Zoo Engine, and you saw how stupid it is still available. Sure, the consistency was cut by about 20%, but this card effectively pushes it back up that 20%, and I'll tell you guys why. First of all, it is a generic Link 2, and the problem with like the combo I have right now is that it requires 7 special summon monsters to put the Gaia and the Firewall. But basically, Gaia up top, Firewall below, Firewall pointing left and right. That is effectively how you set up the FTK for Infernities, or any deck for that matter. Now, what I want to talk about is, if you give us this monster, effectively I have, instead of using 7 special summons, I technically only need 5. Why am I reducing the extra number of special summons? Firstly, I reduce one of them because I don't have to put an extra monster into making the Gaia. I just use 2, and that extra monster can go into the Firewall. So I actually save myself about 2 special summons worth of monsters, and that actually fixes about 10% of the brick hands I get, just because well, I'm just short on monsters. I have to link off everything, getting rid of my own Necromancer to make the Firewall. But now I can actually keep the Necromancer and make the Firewall again anyway, so I can still go FTK. If you guys haven't seen the FTK video, I recommend you guys to go check it out. So the Firewall problem comes back, and Infernity is still a deck available in TCG. I believe we are going to get a bit of abuse out of just saying this card is going to open up the Firewall problem once again, and it's most likely going to replace Proxy Dragon as the one monster that you tether. You might use Proxy Dragon as an actual Link 2 to protect your monsters and your cards, whereas this one is more likely the one that you're going to combo off into killing your opponent. And I bet this card is going to see a bit of play, just because it's so generic. Generic stuff always see play. But that's all I got for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit me with a thumbs up if you guys want to see more stuff from MST.TV. Hit that subscribe button because I appreciate all of you guys. And as always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.